Just close your eyes and the last two verses which you saw in the last class. Sparshan krutva bahirvayan chakshuschaivantare bhruvoh pranapano samokrutva nasabhyantaracharino. This verse is not to be understood, but something to be done. Nasa abhyantaracharino pranapano. Using your breathing. Deep inhalation and exhalation. As we saw in the class, this doesn't have to anything do with the understanding of yourself, but facilitates the slowing down of your mind. Doesn't produce the truth, who you are. That is why breathing, what they call as exercise, pranasya ayama, regulating the breathing. The simple inhalation, exhalation, observation. But what is added to that must be remembered. Bhayhan sparshan bahikrutva. The sense objects which are external has already gone into your mind as thoughts, impressions. Bhayhan sparshan bahikrutva. Externalizing the external objects. Bahikrutva, externalizing Bhayhan sparshan, the external sense objects, beginning with touch, sound, taste, smell, sight, meaning thereby no more affected by the pictures of the object. All the thoughts, resolving them in their source. The pictures inside, merging in the object outside. Yatendriya mano buddhi muni moksha parayana. focusing on yourself, the liberation, freedom here and now. Where naturally the thoughts remain suspended. Or even if they appear, it has no impact. Body absolutely restful, sense organs in their own place. Breathing slow and steady. All your thoughts, you know where they belong, the source. The thought of the object resolved in the object of thought, as though you have never started perceiving. Perception begins. Consciousness always there. Using your breath, deep inhalation, exhalation, and holding it, then consciously breathing. Can facilitate your being with yourself. Of course, once you have a grip over who you are, none of this matters anymore. Thoughts are no more a projection, obstacle. Breathing naturally restful. Don't have to even worry about it. The vast creation, always in meditation. As much you are. At all times, all places, all conditions. Nandini Vedeshangavadakramopanishade Gayandiyam Samaga Dhyana Vastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyantiyam Yogina Yasyantam Navidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashrita Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yaha Sasanyasi Cha Yogi Cha Na Niragnirna Chakriya Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashrita Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yaha Sasanyasi Cha Yogi Cha Na Niragnirna Chakriya Yam Sanyasamiti Prahu Yogam Tam Vidhi Pandava Naya Sanyasta Sankalpaha Yogi Bhavati Kaschana Yam Sanyasamiti Prahu Yogam Tam Vidhi Pandava Naya Sanyasta Sankalpaha Yogi Bhavati Kaschana. Now this chapter begins without Arjuna initiating any question, because as we saw in the 5th chapter, towards the end of it, Krishna himself has initiated the dhyana yoga, the meditation, being with one's own self. It is absolutely essential because depending on the individual, the teaching will have its impact. Of course, the first and the most important thing is teacher must be right. If the teacher, the guru, himself is not aware of the subject, not aware of himself, the subject is not Vishaya, not the subject matter, the subject, which is not available for objectification. If he is not aware of himself, you will be continuously beating around the bush. You see, literally involving yourself in a wild goose chase. Lot of action, lot of practices, lot of songs, dance, music, everything shall be there in the name of meditation. But in the name of freedom, like moron people get tied down by bondage, because too many conditions are invoked and the person gets himself tied down, trapped by these so-called disciplines, thoughts, ideas. Because you equate meditation or being with yourself either with not eating a food or looking at something or sitting down in a particular time or doing certain practice or not doing certain thing. So in the search of freedom, the person is in reality trapping himself. Like we saw in the last chapter. Please understand, it's very, very profound, very simple, must be seen by everybody. Equating an experience with meditation, understand, and seeing meditation as something, not an isolated experience, but your nature at all times, all places, all conditions, where every experience becomes meditation, because nothing is ever untouched by it. Vishaya anande brahmananda. Even in the sense pleasure, you get the same bliss, because there is no other bliss. There is no other happiness. There is only one absolute happiness that comes to as though manifestation in relation to a sense perception. A thought is about a movie disturbing you, so you feel you are disturbed by the thought of the movie. When you see the movie, the disturbance of the movie goes away. You return to yourself, but then the person concludes, movie brought him happiness, so this is movie happiness. You are desperate to meet somebody, talk to somebody, and that brings you loneliness, isolation. Then suddenly the person comes, and that goes away. Your isolation goes away. You are very much at home with yourself. You see, you think, you conclude that the person brought that happiness. A person brings isolation, or an object brings isolation and loneliness, both one and the same. You are being with yourself. So that time, when you see that in any moment of happiness, I am with myself. Therefore, you do not compartmentalize, you do not bifurcate, you do not divide the objects as something which is holy, unholy, right, wrong, good, bad, from the absolute standpoint. So your living becomes absolutely beautiful. There is no question of missing yourself. But if you equate a particular breathing with the meditation, a particular singing with meditation, a particular touching with meditation, or with a particular swinging or dancing or something with meditation, or sitting down quietly with meditation, then unless you do that action, you think you are not meditating. That is where you get trapped by that so-called activity, action. Most people compare that activities and consider themselves superior or inferior. I can sit down 3 days, other fellows I can sit for 3 months. Yesterday somebody sent me a email. One man is sitting down 10 months without taking any food or no food, no drinks. He is sitting in meditation. Now what will happen? The average person, they shall think the meditation means no food, no drink. No perception, no sight, no seeing, no touch, no taste. Then you start working on that. And the other person is afraid. Either he is afraid or he doesn't like to open his eyes. Who is better? One is not comfortable opening his eyes, other is not comfortable closing his eyes. Who is better? Understand. Being happy with yourself, being one with meditation, has nothing to do with your closing or opening the eyes. Then why do you ask me to close the eyes? To facilitate. Please understand its position very clearly. When you look at the world, these so-called practices have completely hijacked the reality. The truth is lost. Practices have become more important. And people are proud of it. Or some people are guilty about it. Some people are proud that they are doing certain practice. Other fellow is guilt-ridden because he is not doing it. But lost sight of the truth, that is himself. So that is very important. That is why now the 6th chapter begins, even though Arjuna has not asked the question, Bhagavan knows, unless the person abides in himself, these questions will not have natural resolution. When you are with yourself, questions do not appear. Questions have a natural resolution. You cannot dismiss a question. Understand, please. You don't dismiss a question. Nor you question for question's sake. You must always question. For what? Nor you have to dismiss somebody's question, because if the question rises, it has to be resolved. But when you are with yourself, when you see yourself very clearly, you can resolve all your questions as it is. Therefore, this chapter begins. The last 2 verses, as I told you, there is nothing to be understood. It is something to be done. Anasabhyand sparshan krutva bahirvayan chakshushchaivantare bhruvoho. Keeping your eyes between the eyebrow. Chakshushchaiva bhruvorantare. The direction of your eyes looking between the eyebrows. Now some people will take a photograph like that. Right? Meditation. This is where it becomes a joke, clumsy, useless. Understand? Shaktipat. Touch the eyebrow. So the other person must pretend to be shaking all over. You know, if you touch the eyebrows, this shakes. Why? Electricity is passing. Shaktipat, no? Shakti, going through that. 1970s, when I was in university. Those time there was a magazine called Illustrative Weekly. Almost 38 years back. Ishwar. In Bombay, it happened. There was a Swami. So we are all college students, will be laughing at every Swami. You know, yeah, nonsense. And these fellows, this type of incident when you see, naturally, you get much more deluded by rubbish. And what he was doing? He was sitting in a very high chair. He was making a lot of money. So what he does, he has got there is a wiring from the back side of his high chair. There is a wiring, it has gone into his hand like this. And when his hand is like this, the wire is loose. He asks the people to sit down. There is a stool in front of him. The people kneel down and stick out his neck, literally. Anyway, he puts his finger on the eyebrows. When you put the eyebrows, what happens? When you put it straight, the circuit is complete. Mild electricity goes into the person's, between the eyebrows. So everybody thinks they are getting enlightened. They are getting a shock. Because already these ideas are given to them. The person has picked up, familiar with these ideas, that there must be some sensation. People are looking for it. And believe me, for months, he went on doing it until one naughty journalist went there and they discovered that wire. And it splashed in the paper. What do you do? Therefore, it does not mean anybody touching that is a crook. No. If you are aware, you know how to help somebody to concentrate. Because average person is dissipated. Understand? Average person is dissipated. Seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. You bring the whole attention, focus. That is why all these asanas, pranayamas, there is nothing to be understood. There is no, don't try to understand a pranayama and do the knowledge. Understanding yoga and doing the knowledge. How glorious. There is not, the yoga is not to be understood. Do. You are really itching to do something, do it. How long? As long as you like. How does it matter to us? You do. I want to climb the mountain. Climb. No, I want to read about climbing the mountain. Reading about climbing the mountain? What nonsense. You want to do. No, Shankaracharya has told about this Saundarya Lahari and all these books where these power. Yes, do it. 100,000 times you have to chant. Yes, do. No, I want to read that. What are you reading about that? Do it. He says 100,000 times you have to repeat. No? Yes, so 100,000 times repeat. No, can I get the siddhi without repeating? Don't ask the question. Silly. He says 100,000 times repeat. No, I don't believe, then don't do. You can't be vague. Certain things to be done. I want to lose weight. Can I read about dieting? Yes, you can read. But you shall be fat. More and more you sit down and read, the fatter and fatter will grow. Don't worry. Reading about dieting? Do. Understand? When they say chakshushchaivantare bhruvoho, between the focus between the eyebrows, withdrawing everything. Breathing, slowing down. Do it. Then, sparshan krutva vahirvayan, vayan sparshan vahikrutva. That statement, you see, amazing statements. Sparshan krutva vahirvayan, vayan sparshan vahikrutva. External sense objects, externalizing. What language? If you understand that, you are in meditation. Externalizing the thoughts. Resolving it in the object of the thought. Externalizing, resolving the thought of the object into the object. Object. No more I am interfering. I want it, I don't want it. None of this stuff. Why? Moksha parayana. I want to be free. Match all your picture outside. Just even take theoretically. Until now, whatever you have experienced, whatever residue is there inside your head, the entire thing, match it wherever it is. Where you are. Pick it up again. Why? You have to live your life. Without your memory, can you function? Pick up. Dismissing the whole thing. Then picking up by your choice. Understand? It's like the car was going out of your control. Simple example you can take. The car was going out of your control. This horse is running out of your control. Pull him down. Show him who is the master. Then guide him. Chalo. Don't you do that? When do you ride a horse? As long as horse is taking for a ride, what type of ride it is? You bring it down. Now the horse is, no, one whip or something somewhere. Oh, now horse is like, all right, move. The car, skidding. What can you do? Well, keep it under control. Bring out one. Then, it's just like that. Your body, your mind. Oh. Previously, not knowing, the thoughts were, wherever the thoughts, I am there. Ayyo, don't know what to do. That is why do not look down upon people. Everybody begins with confusion, because everybody begins with ignorance. But do not perpetuate their ignorance by telling them to create new thoughts, new practices, new dependence. The person comes to the teacher, tired, frustrated, miserable, in search of reality, in search of freedom. And what the teacher gives him? Hooks him into new practices, new thoughts, new discipline, new ideas. What happens? Are you being free or are you being tired, tied down? Think for yourself, please. Chakshuschaivantare bhru. So when you do that between the using your breathing, steady, focusing between the eyebrows. It is why between the eyebrows? Somebody, why can't I put in the focus on my nose tip? Do it. Nasagravalokini. Another says, no, I want the center of my head. All right. No, I want my navel. Why not? Under the, they call it muladhara, between the anus and the genitals. Yes, why not? Well, Swami, I feel more comfortable if I concentrate on my toes. Do it. But Shastra doesn't say, why are you worried? Certain points can you focus. That is why in the Yoga Sutra, when you say that they call it tratak. Tratak, looking. Bahi anta. You can focus on a point outside, you can focus on a point inside. Which point? Don't ask. Convenient points they have told. You see, if everybody has to write every point, now the whole book will be on what? Every point. Please tell me what all points I should concentrate on. Then the whole book will be about your body, right? It's like the stupid story, no? You remember? There was a big, what is that? The king was crazy. The king was crazy. He wanted to listen story and it should not end. Now what nonsense is that? So, the moment the story comes to an end, the storyteller is killed. Now how many storytellers are killed? So one smart fellow said, okay, I will tell the story. Everybody said, why do you want to kill yourself? He said, no, I will not die. I am going to count the story. But you must know, all of you must be listening and you must tell the story is really not complete. Because I will not finish the story. How? You leave it to me. He goes to the king. Long, long ago, there was a king, all this nonsense. And then there was all along wonderful things were going on, nice, festivity, food, accommodation, pleasure, celebrations, everything. Then it so happened, like now in India, no rain. No rain. It's a huge drought. So because of the drought, the king did not do, but the king was a very, very great visionary. So he had kept so many godowns packed with food when there were nice production. So the king was not afraid. So people are starving, they started giving. Not only people are starving, animals also started starving. Even the ants also started serving. And these ants, lucky that they were, they found a granary. And then one ant goes in, brings a paddy and comes out. What happened then? Another ant goes, brings a paddy and comes out. The king says, then what happened? Another ant goes, brings a paddy and comes out. Then what happened? Yet another ant goes inside, brings a paddy, comes out. Then what happens? Another ant goes, another paddy. Then the king gets angry. When it will end, Maharaj, the grain has to be finished. Now what do you like? How do you like the story? Technically true, because the grain has to be finished. No, for the next move, until the grains are over, how you can start the next story? Technically right. But what nonsense is that? Same thing. What are the points where I shall focus? How many points are in the body? How many points are in the world? Are you crazy? So few points they said, here tail of your nose, top of your nose, if you have a tail also is better. The fellow look for special points, you should have a tail. Then only you know animal. Some point they say, why? It's comfortable, convenient. Not that one point has got better concentration than the other point. Yes, it may also have. True, you can see that. If you concentrate on the lower part of the body and concentrate on the higher part of the body, there is a difference. There is a little difference. As a Tantra Shastra will say, Urdhvasrota hi deva, adhasrota hi jiva. Adhasrota jiva. If your concentration is on the lower part of your body, you are very, very ordinary. Just think of it. Your concentration on the lower part of your body. A person is, you do that, you concentrate on your toes. You shall see your mind can be still little functional. In a sense, you can concentrate on your toes. You can hold it, in fact, I shouldn't say that. But anyway, if you want to make in the ordinary person, average stages, when eyes down, there will be still chalana. There will be some type of a movement will be there. But if you are holding your eyes up between your eyebrows on the top of your head, body stands still. But these are the things, you don't make a business out of it. I shall tell you where to concentrate. And if I do that, this $100, 50 rupees. Natural things don't sell. Like selling oxygen. Like selling oxygen. Selling sunlight. Selling water. Why are you selling natural things? Body is there. Person is there. Help him to facilitate his understanding and know himself. That is why in the tradition it has never been a business. Even the gurus, teachers' names are not there. If you look at the Upanishads, the teachers' names don't exist. Now only it is copyright. Why? Because it's a big business. In our group, look it between the eyes. In our group, somebody patenting also. In America now is crazy in patenting. In meditation also will be patented. Between the eyebrows. Somebody, somewhere in America has done it. I mean, nonsense. Think of it. This facilitating. Something to be done. Why? So that you see yourself. Bruvor madhye pranamavishya samyak. Between the eyebrows, you hold. Then, concentrating, your breathing is slow. Sparshan krutva bahirbhaya. All thoughts resolved in the object of thought. Do for a second. You see it for yourself. How long shall you be able to sit down? As long. That is why we are planning now. I'll ask Vishwa, now all of you must come. It's between the 10 to 11. Sometimes we'll fix it up today, tomorrow afternoon, I'll tell you. So, Instead of sitting down in a room, you may be sleeping off, unconscious, not that you want to sleep and sleep. Sit down here or go under our room. 1 hour, to start with half an hour, 1 hour, just sitting down. Not going against this or like that, no. Simply keeping quiet and not falling apart. Somebody should be opening the eyes and looking. I don't open my eyes and look at you because by chance one person is looking like this, I'll shoot him. That's why I don't open my eyes. Because when I am doing that, don't think that I am doing it for your observation and entertainment. So now I sit down quietly. If I open my eyes, deliberately choose to open my eyes just to respect, protect my own self-respect. Because there will be somebody who will be, oh, once I had watched it, after that I never did it. Because it's so disgusting. Restless people sitting there. What do you say? Close your eyes. When I opened my eyes, there was a long time, 10, 15 years back. After that I never opened my eyes. Just to observe. Not by opening eyes, anything happens to me. Just to observe whether somebody is in the mood or not. You can look at the person and know. You look at the person, if you are aware, you look at the person, how he is sitting down. The depth from the face, it will be visible. Whether the person is deep, shallow, restless, from the face you can make out. When I looked at it, the fellow, looking at it, first time I was, he said, like that. But then I said, cool it, cool it, cool it. That is how the idiot is, don't worry about it. You must do it. Please do that few days, hours. Start with half an hour, 1 hour. Just like you are having Sanskrit class, chanting class. Now, almost like do that 1 hour. In your room you may or may not do, choices. You do it, but outside. Let us see how long you can really sit down. Are you sleeping off? Then you can know for yourself. I will also visit sometimes, who knows. Okay, do it. By yourself. You do it by yourself. How long? You are able to do it. 24 hours. Then until it becomes effortless. Totally effortless. Anytime, anywhere, any place. You are all. And the taste of it is, there is no roller coaster ride. No emotional ups and downs. That is the taste of it. Not that you cannot be emotional. You can choose to be emotional. But emotions don't overtake you. Like, he gives an example now. We shall see. All these details will come. He starts with the same karma and sannyas. Anasrita karma phala sangam karyam karma karot yah sa sannyasi sacha yogi na niragni na akriya. Hey Arjuna, the question that you asked, which is better, karma, sannyas, or the karma yoga? Which one is better? In reality, there is no better or lesser. Sannyasa, karma yoga, both are one and the same. Because in both the places, karma phala tyaga. Are you getting that? In both the places, there is karma phala tyaga. Sannyasa as well as karma yoga, both the places there is karma phala tyaga, not karma tyaga. Renunciation of action, but renouncing the result of action. That is the whole crux. That is why to be a sannyasi does not mean naniragni na chakriya. So one who does the karma phala tyaga, anasrita karma phalam asritam, one who dependent upon the result of the action for his happiness, is neither a sannyasi nor a yogi. One who continues to do the action, but no more dependent on the result of the action for his happiness, for his freedom, Such a person, sannyasi che, yogi che. Na niragni na akriya. The person who has given up the Agni, fire ritual. This is the language of the ancients. Today, if you say, imagine, in those days people are so confused. Today, how much they will be confused? Who is knowing? Today, if you say yogi means what? In Orissa, if you say yogi, it means beggars. Yogi, you know that. In Orissa, yogi means beggar. Those who they play one instrument and they go from village to village, we call them yogiaschi. Yogiaschi means yogi, and the person begging. Acha. Average person, if you ask, yogi means what? One who does the Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga. That is too much information. Ashtanga Yoga also not Ashtanga. Only who does the asana. Is a yogasan. Yoga means yogasan. So anywhere you say yoga means yogasan. Yogi means one is doing yoga. What yoga? Yoga asana. If you are doing even one Surya Namaskar, yogi. All the things, Mahayogi. Something like that. This is the popular concept. That yogi in the concept of the absolute, jnani, yogi, jnani, sannyasi, all one and the same. How many people know that? Those days, where you are supposed to be familiar, people don't know what to talk of today. So, heavy conflict on that statement. So, sannyasi means usually one who doesn't do anything. Ritualistically, who has renounced the rituals. With a ritual, sannyasa ritual, they call it viraja homa. You do a particular ritual and that day, everything is renounced. No ritual, no puja, no worship, no nothing. Everything is given up that day. Completely given up. You are even supposed to, clothes also given up. And that is why sannyasa day, when your sannyasa is given, you remove all your clothes and walk towards the north. The Guru has to call you back. Come, come, come. I understand your renunciation, but take up this cloth, loka sangrartham, for the sake of the humanity, put on this cloth and go this way. Because north is Himalayas, house of abode of knowledge and meditation. So traditionally, go towards the north. That is the symbol. Meaning even a cloth is not needed. For you to be alive, why do you need a cloth? Yes, sannyas. But that doesn't mean hanging around naked is wisdom. That's not. So putting on a cloth and going. So ritualistically that day you give up every ritual. Your own pinda. You do your own sraddha. So that way for a sannyasi, death anniversary, Mahamrityunjaya mantra for his health. He is not there. For whom are you doing Mahamrityunjaya mantra? He is one with the God. It should be discouraged. But then what happens? The persons do that. Mahamrityunjaya, hey, what is your sankalpa? In whose name you should do it? You are not there. It's not to show off. It's so subtle. Because suppose you say, go to the temple, whose name will do that? Oh, nothing in my name, I don't exist. Oh, God, don't do that. Ishvara. You don't have to announce to everybody. Who is there? What am I to beg? What am I to ask? I am not there. So what is the question of me asking? That should be an understanding. If that is not there, simply talking is a waste of time. So, na niragni na kriya. The person was simply ritualistically given up his fire ritual or akriya. Akriya means tapah dana kriya. No tapas, no dana, no nothing. In a sense, the person simply abiding in himself. So just because he is doing this thing, you don't call him a sannyasi. A sannyasi may be niragni akriya. Understand? A wise person may have given up the rituals, may have given up every action. But by simply giving up action and ritual, you don't become a sannyasi. Are you getting that? Simply by giving up the action and ritual, you don't become a yogi. So yogi, sannyasi, both are one and the same language, because both are aware of themselves. Anasrita karma phala. Both have no dependence on the result of action. For them to be happy with themselves, they don't depend upon anything. Who shall know it for somebody? Closing your eyes is insecurity or pleasure? Who shall know? Only you shall know. I am going to sleep. I am happy. I am going to sleep. Tired. After so much activity, I am tired. I go to sleep. I am happy with myself. I don't have to close my eyes. But body needs rest. I give the body rest. Other person, life is so burdensome. It is so painful. It is so much of tension. Abba, feel, sleep. Both are sleeping. One is escaping, other is sleeping. Are you getting that? Both are sleeping. How do you know? Both are closing the eyes. One is happy to close the eyes. Why? What is there to see or not to see? Happy. Other person closing the eyes, I must close my eyes. Therefore, you will be restless. Or escaping. Oh, miserable. How do you know? Are you getting that point? That is why you please see for yourself. Simply putting up a facade, of closing the eyes, singing a song, dancing or hugging or touching or something, it doesn't mean anything. You see it for yourself. And the test is karma phalatyag, anasrita karma phalam. You do not depend on any result of action. Result of action does not mean walking only or lifting something. You don't depend on the sight, taste, touch, smell, thought, activity of any kind for your happiness. Like compulsive, unless I give me a peace of my mind, I can't rest. Yes. So you have to shout. I must help. If I don't help, I will feel restless. Are you getting that point, please? So many ways. How much can I talk? Because, please understand, a little misunderstanding, even an iota, just like a single hole in a pot, enough. I don't want to see, I don't want to hear, taste, touch, smell, Swami. I don't depend on anything. But this one thought is bugging me. One thought, enough. Because from that, it can be a massive cyclone. A little hole on the dam can be a huge dam burst. One emotion, you try, you will see what it is. A single thing. Single. One little thought. One emotion. You are a little angry with somebody. You are not angry with anybody. There are 5 billion people. You are not angry with anybody. Only one person. Enough. Enough. Can you get angry with 5 billion people? Why should you be? Do you know everybody? You don't. Do you know every situation in life? Don't. One situation of yours. One. Can you be conscious? Please understand. It's not passing judgment on somebody. Oh, sannyasis, sadhus, gurus, these, that. Don't worry about it. Don't pass judgment. You look at yourself. Do you depend upon anything for your satisfaction, contentment? If you do depend, you are a prisoner of your own thought. And that will be a sensitive point. Anybody can destroy you. Anybody can challenge you. You shall feel rattled in life. Don't worry about it. One little thing. So, naniragni na chakriya. So, it's very important, to appreciate. Am I simply have given up the action or renounce the result of the action? Another person. Am I simply doing certain practice or there is a focus? Understand? When you give up thing, simply at one time you sit down doing nothing. You are not restless to do. At certain time you are doing something, but you are not afraid if the work comes to an end. Are you getting that point? Both way. Sometimes you can sit down. Is there any fear inside? And I have to do something. That is where that becomes laziness. So subtle. Some people can be simply sitting, enjoying simply sitting. Why? As long as you don't ask them to do things. It's a laziness. Other person is workaholic, restless. He must do. He's afraid of, see, you don't have to do anything. Just sit down 1 hour. 1 hour. What am I? Simply, why are you wasting time? You are not wasting time. You are being with yourself. Only you can find out for yourself, please. Na niragni, na chakriya. So, the person who was simply stopping rituals is not. Okay. Now he says, Yam sanyasamiti prahu tam yoga vidhi Pandava. Hey Pandava knows sannyasam sarva karma parityaga lakshanam paramartha sannyasam. Same thing, how much can you go on talking? By now you should have understood it. Sannyasam iti prahu yogam tam vidhi Pandava. If sannyasa and yoga you don't understand that time, you are not going to understand here. But same thing again and again repeated. Why this repetition? In Shastra, please understand, in Shastra, especially Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, repetition is not a dosha, it is a guna. In physics, chemistry, mathematics, geography, history, all that stuff, repetition is a dosha. Suppose, what is that? Physics book or the geography book. Capital of India, Delhi, next page. Capital of India, Delhi, next page. Capital of India, Delhi. What will you say? Printing mistake. You will call it as a printing mistake. The same page repeated again and again. I want my new book, another book. Why? Same page 3 times there. So you repeat. But in Upanishad book, you are Sachidananda, you are Chit Swarupa, Sat Swarupa, Anand Swarupa. You are Sachidananda Swarupa. Same thing 3 times. Sat Swarupa, Chit Swarupa, Anand Swarupa, Sachidananda Swarupa. But you can't return the book because that is how it is. Again and again it has to be told. Sat Swarupa, Chit Swarupa, Ananda Swarupa. Again and again. Why? Why should it be told again and again? So for a change, shall we say you are mortal, you are absolute, you are stupid, you are bound? No. Today you are free. Tomorrow you are free. Day after tomorrow you are also free. 100 years after, you are free. Suppose you come back after 10 years, you attend a class, Swamiji is teaching same thing that he taught us. Same thing. What to do? Last, people ask that question. Swamiji, how same subject, don't you feel bored? What? About happiness feeling bored? Is there any better subject than this than bragging about yourself? What do you enjoy? Bragging about yourself? No. Oh, I am a PhD, oh, I am a first. That is not a real bragging, because there is a double PhD, triple PhD, you are only 1 PhD. You have got 1 million, the fellow has 10 million, 100 million. Whereas in this, incomparable absolute. Who are you? Infinity, immortal, absolute, alone me, everybody included. So your song is everybody's song. Why everybody is not tired? Because it is everybody's song. But when I say, I had a dinner with Queen Elizabeth, then you say, oh, big show off, because you have not gone there. Suppose I say, I am the PhD, then you say, oh, you are stupid, because you are not even matriculate. But when I say, you are happiness, I am happiness, you are also happiness. I am free, you are also free. That is why in this knowledge there is no jealousy. Everybody all the time happily enjoying themselves. Why? Because same thing. There is no difference between the teacher and the student. Not the teacher. Suppose the teacher is the only one enlightened. Think, why should students be hanging around? To be ignorant student of the enlightened master, right? What a waste. Both are same. One knows, one does not know. So see this. Please. So when it is talked about here, repetition is done because if you have understood it, revelry. If you don't understand it, revelation. If you understand it, you continuously revel. Oh, it's very good. Somebody can be smart. You understand once. Okay, same thing he goes on listening to it. Other person doesn't understand. Maybe one time it will strike him. That is why. Or else there is no other reason. Anyway, tam sannyasam iti prahu. Yogam tam vindipan. Sannyasa and yoga. What is the yoga? Karma anusthana lakshanam. Paramartha sannyasam viddhi. Karma anusthana lakshanam. Yoga, karma yoga. Karma anusthana, you do the karma. Sannyasa, you give up everything. What do you give up? Karma. You don't give up karma, you are given karma phala. Because you cannot give up action. But karma phala tyaga you can do. When, listen, when the sannyas, the jnani, without doing any specific kamya karma, has already given up karma phala, the karma yogi does certain karma to counteract his thought by accepting the result. Are you getting that principle? A person who is involved in knowledge, not involved in any action. Why? Because he is involved in contemplation. But his attitude is karma phala tyaga. What is that? Whatever food comes, fine. Whatever dress comes, fine. Whatever people I meet, fine. He has no specific likes and dislikes. But suppose you have a specific like and dislike, all right, do that action. Accept the result. Are you getting that point? That is why both are leading to the same goal. But if you don't have the karma phala tyaga, simply giving up the action will not solve your problem because you are still lost in your thoughts, your emotions, your that language is kama krodha udbhavam vegam. Kama krodha udbhava vega, the speed with which your kama, your desire, lust, passion, anger, hatred, jealousy, that pushes you around, creates a storm, tornado, cyclone inside. But you say, I am Brahman. It's nonsense. Cyclonic Brahman. That doesn't work. Moody Brahman. That doesn't work. You only talk nonsense. Nobody is going to be impressed by it. Very simple, please. Therefore, both are one and the same. Why? Nai asanyasta sankalpa yogi bhavati kaschana. See that? Sanyasta sankalpa sannyasi, sanyasta sankalpa yogi. Na yogi bhavati. You cannot be a yogi if you are na sanyasta sankalpa. You see that yogi now talked in terms of what? Practicing or attitude? Language must be understood clearly. Na yogi hi na asanyasta sankalpa na yogi bhavati. If you do not give up the sankalpa, you cannot be yogi. Why shall I give up sankalpa? He gives very nice two quotations are there. Oh, in this is not there. Somewhere it will be. Sarva Sankalpa Sannyas. It comes later on, but same thing. What is that? Same Sankalpa, it comes number 4, but same thing it will come. What is Sankalpa? Sankalpa Moola Kamo Vai Yagyaha Sankalpa Sambhava Sankalpa Samoola Kama. Understand? Sankalpa Moola Kama. Desires are the root in Sankalpa. Sankalpa Sambhava Kama. Any desire for something to be built up as a desire, first thought must begin, this Sankalpa. And there is another Manusmriti very nicely quotes. In Mahabharata it comes. Kama janamite moolam sankalpat kilajayase. Hey Kama, the person is addressing desire, lust, passion. See, you are addressing your lust, addressing your desire, addressing your ambition, addressing your emotion, addressing your thoughts. How? Hey Kama, hey lust, hey passion, hey desire, te moolam janami, I know your root. Sankalpat kila jayase. From the first thought you are born. Do you know the root? Tasmatna sankalpaishyami. Therefore I shall not initiate the first thought. Shall I initiate the first thought? First thought you don't have to initiate. You should really go into it. First thought you initiate or thought comes? Thought comes. Next thought you don't do. First thought will come. Are you getting it? So you are walking down the street. What do you perceive? Do you have a choice? The first perception. Are you getting the first perception? Whom shall I see? What shall I see? What shall I hear? What shall I taste? What shall I touch? Do you know? You don't know. You go to a restaurant. What is there? You don't know. But first thought, you ate it. Oh, I want more. That is yours. After go away from there plus also, now the first thought, the memory comes back only, problem comes. Understand? Memory comes back to remind you. But the moment memory comes back, I want it. This is where people end up. This is where people end up in what? Aggrandizement. That is why if you see people's house, you go to anybody's room, including your room, even an ordinary person's room, how many things are there? Ask yourself, if I don't use something for 10 days, I will throw it out. Everything will be thrown out. There are so many things. So many things to pick up. Even people, there are some people keep bus ticket. Train ticket, bus ticket, aeroplane tags, everything will be done. Every time they change room also, keep it. I throw it and go. No, that also must be kept. Same thing. You can't get rid of these things, you know why? Because you can't get rid of your memory. When it is packed here, it becomes packed here. If this is empty here, this goes. When shall you give up 100 rupees to somebody? When you don't need for that 100 rupees here. You don't have that need for 100 rupees here, take. You have the need for that? How people become miserly? A poor man is not miser because he has 100 rupees, how can he give 100 rupees? Fellow has 100,000, but the 100 rupees is very important. Therefore, he can't give it to anybody, cannot give it to anybody. Why? My need. Like food. Think, when shall you happily give away the food? When you don't have the need, you don't have the greed. But if you say, I have to eat. So, what will you do? Not outside. If you keep outside, somebody may ask. Under the table, inside the clothes. Then you forgot it. Then one day you see 1,000 ants are invading your room. Where from the ants are coming? Oh my God. Cheh. Then you announce to everybody, I should have given away the laddu, I should have given away, these things. After it is spoiled. So that everybody knows how generous you are to hand over everything to everybody. You are a crook. If your mind doesn't understand, as long as you have got a hold over things inside your head, you will have a huge possessiveness. Mahadeva. So, sankalpa, tasmat, kama janamite mula, sankalpat kilajayase, natvam sankalpaishyami, samulo na bhavishyasi. So, samulahana sankalpaishyami. I am not going to even make the second thought. Tasmat na bhavishyasi. Therefore, you cannot come. A desire will not be a desire unless you build on the sankalpa. Unless you build on a second, are you getting that? Unless you build on a second thought, what is the desire? Because people are helpless, advertisers are building it for them. Because everybody is ignorant. Once you are aware, that is why you must be aware of yourself. Instead of helping them to understand the biography or the mechanism of the whole desire, if you simply tell people, don't desire, you should not desire, no kama, no krodha, what happens? Everybody is troubled. You tell him, simply not to desire means what? What rubbish. How can I not desire? I won't desire, I won't be happy. Then what am I supposed to do in my life? Why people don't listen to this nonsense? Or they become hypocritical. They'll talk about not desiring, but everything quietly desiring. It's all contradiction, contradiction, contradiction. You see yourself. What is the mechanism? That objects don't pull me. Thought comes next. Therefore he says, when you are Sarva Sankalpa Sannyas, nahi asanyasta Sankalpa yogi bhavati kaschana. The person who is Sankalpa Sannyasi, he is a yogi, sannyasi, Sankalpa. Sankalpa Sannyas means what? Again, the result comes. Suppose I like it. Oh, then I'll build it up. But over the result of the action, I don't have the dependence. Therefore, I don't build it. Such a yogi. Acha. When shall I do that? When shall I do that? When shall I not do that? When I need not do it? When I need to do it. When shall I give up sankalpa? When I need not do it. Read. Aruruksho muner yogam karma karana muchyate yoga rudhasya tasyaiva shamakarana muchyate aruruksho muner yogam karma karana muchyate yoga rudhasya tasyaiva shamakarana muchyate. Very beautiful verse. Aruruksho, arudha. There are two words. Aruruksho means what? Arohum ichatah. Arodhum ichatah. One who is desirous of mount, this is a imagery of a horse riding. One who is desirous of mounting the horse of yoga, other who is already mounted, arudha, arurukshu. One who is desirous of riding this yoga of horse, karma karana uchyate. You start with the karma. Suppose you are arudha, you are already a yogi, shama karana uchyate. Understand the difference? If you don't understand, raise your hand right now. Please see the beauty. It is so simple and it is so beautiful. You can do it every moment of your life. If you are a person who can, we have seen it in Tattvada itself, if you can catch it at the level of the shama, if you are arudha, if you are already ready, shama karana muchyate, you catch it at the level of the thought, shama. If you cannot catch it at the level of the thought, karma karana muchyate, do it at the level of the action. What is that action? Speech, sound, taste, touch, smell, sight, anything. Understand? If your thought brings you restlessness, if your thought, understand, are you getting that? It's not talking to you, X, Y, Z. This is generalization. You see for yourself where you fit in. If your thoughts brings you restlessness and you do not know how to handle your thought, consciously act. Karma karana uchyate. And, whatever I feel like, I'll act. Ready for the result of action. You must be ready for the consequences. Or else I feel like killing somebody. Shall I kill? Karma, I am a karma yogi. So but I feel like killing somebody. But in the process, are you going to be killed? Is it okay? No, 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 no. Then don't kill. In the process, you can be killed also. Right? That is why human relationship becomes disaster. Suppose you are desirous of possessing a computer, you are desirous of possessing a camera, you are desirous of possessing a car. What shall be the conflict? Will the car resist? I am not going with you to your house. Will the car say? You can fulfill it. You can work towards it. Pain, present, anything comes. When you get it, the car comes with it. Human being, try. Another person, I'm desperate. I am really infatuated with that boy or a girl, that man or woman. So, I'll do everything to get it. Who knows? At the end of the day, the person can say, no, I'm not interested in you. What do you do? What you do? That is why relationships kill you. The fulfillment of a relationship is not dependent on you. Dependent on other. As much on you, that much on others. But riding a car would depend on fully on you. Therefore you can have a car. That's why inanimate sense objects are never your problem. You can have a house, you can have a car, you can have anything you like. Possess, oh boy, you can pack up your palace. You can build a palace, pack up your palace. But a companion to come in, ayyo. It's just like the animals go through. They build the nest, but the lady has to come and inspect it all. Is it okay? No, he goes. How much these male birds struggle. They make the weave, they make the thing, they make the thing, they make the thing, they make the thing. The lady has to come and inspect. Not up to expectation. Goes away. Why? There are other fellows also building the same thing. There are so many male. You must see these National Geography animal thing. Watch out these nature movies. 8 birds will be dancing, going crazy. Hey, look at this. See that? Now he's doing that. So sweet, a perfect example. Perfect. I mean, there will be no better bird than this in the world. So sweet. Oh. Perfect. He listens to us and puts the example. So sweet. See, 10 of them will be dancing for 2 peacocks, 2 PN. Now what will happen? You think he has a choice? A fellow will be killing himself, but the PN doesn't care. They will be simply hanging around. 2 of them, 10 competitors, right? Yesterday we saw this snake dance. How beautiful it was. There are 2 snakes here. 2 snakes mating. So beautiful for half an hour. Where are you guys all? Sleeping, huh? Nobody called you up. You saw? Everybody saw? Sleeping. Nobody told. Anyway, doesn't matter. Whether they had gone out. Anyway, doesn't matter. For half an hour they are doing it. What a trouble the snake has to go through. Huh? And same thing that lyre bird. Every male bird goes through. They build 10 cottages. 10 birds will be building it. Yes. Calling also, dancing also. But the companion will come or not? No. Same way. You are marrying a football player. These football players, the big rich people, what do? Big parts, big houses, big thing, throw parties, throw the cars, throw this one, that, and then each one will coming, going, each one. Then you know what has happened in life? How much trouble? Why? Companion to bring in is difficult. A $1 million gadget you can bring in a second. But a human being to bring in, that is why the person is totally destroyed. Samakaranam uchyate. If you are dependent on a thing or a person, you are destroyed. But suppose you are... So if you can say, I feel like doing it, I want to kill somebody or do something. Okay, get ready for consequences. That is not allowed. Samah karana. Sama, at the thought level itself, I catch it. Fantastic. Arudha. For you, knowledge will take place just like that. Cannot handle it. Arurukshoho munehe karma karana muchyate. Aruruksho mune, one who is desirous of riding the mounting the horse of yoga, karma karana muchyate. You must do the karma. So aruruksho, aruda. One who is desirous of mounting, who has already mounted. Ask yourself a question. Where are you? Are you a master or you are still a slave of a habit? If you are a slave of a habit, consciously do that karma to get out of it. Understand? Nobody asks you to remove the object. Can you get out of your dependence? Are you getting that? Because if you have dependence, very easily you will get into trouble. Understand? If you have dependence, you shall get into trouble at one time or other. Because, please know, whatever you depend upon, around that your life will be revolving. The worst part of it is, all your strength doesn't matter, your weakness kills you. Are you getting that? It is just like you eat 100 peanuts, no problem. The peanut which is rotten, kebab mein haddi, stone in the rice. One stone, but that spoils the entire eating. One weakness. That is why you should be a person, absolutely no dependence on anything. For me to be happy, for what? What is the reason? Nothing. Conditions do not apply. Unconditional happiness with myself. That type of thing. Arudha. If it is aruruksha, okay, consciously do. Sama karanochyade. What shall I do? We shall see in the afternoon. We shall move a little faster, okay? We shall see that. Yadahi nendriyartheshu na karmasu anusajyate. When shall I know I am yogarudha? This is the one. We shall see in the afternoon, okay? Yadahi na indriyartheshu karmasu anusajyate. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi yogarudha tadachyate. Hey Arjuna, such a person is yogarudha, dhyananistha, jnananistha, yogi. Who is he? Yada indriyartheshu karmasu na anusajyate. Never gets distracted by any sense object. Never gets affected by any karma. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Not even a thought tickles him. You understand the three? All the three levels? Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. No thought pushes him. Karmasu anusajyate. No action frightens him. Indriyartheshu. No sense object ever has any, called it so-called temptation, attraction, distraction, nothing. If you have all the three, what are we to deal with in life? Huh? Nothing. If you don't, are you getting that? What are we to deal with in life? Nothing. Happy man. How? All with yourself. Arudha. We'll see in the afternoon, okay? Then only meditation. Such a person, naturally in meditation. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Sense objects do not touch. Sense organs do not bother. Sankalpa is gone. Action also doesn't matter. Then what is that? Always in meditation. That is he himself. Okay? Here no conditions apply. Close your eyes.